As a kid, I really enjoyed drawing and painting. I get asked this question a lot, is when did you start drawing? And you know, the comeback response I always think of is, when did you stop? I mean, I don't have kids, I don't spend much time with kids. I've kind of forgotten to a large extent what it's like to be a kid, so I just produce something that interests me. It's funny, when I first submitted the manuscript for the book, which is normal with an illustrated book, the publisher contracted it on the basis that it was a book for really young kids. In my mind, I didn't see it as really being a children's story. I saw it as an adult fable. It was kind of originally about economic rationalism. The Howard administration was in full swing and there was a lot of discussion about that at the time, and I thought that was a really good subject. You know, coming up with the idea of a world where there's an obsession with things belonging in their right place. Real simple kind of childlike idea, but it applies to a more complex situation. I remember I was approached years and years ago to do a film, you know, animation adaptation of another book. And I said, you really should be looking at this one, The Lost Thing, not that one. And that other one didn't eventuate, so I was really glad when this one sort of came up. You know, someone once said that no great idea came from a big room, and it's probably true. I really feel small-scale projects, just from observation, tend to be more successful. I mean, I've just seen so many that have become overblown and lost. The basic idea, which is usually the basic idea in a piece is very subtle and hard to explain. I want people angry, waving, and yeah, yep. I guess the problem with the CGI appearance to many films is it's an interesting style, but it's quite repetitive because the medium lends itself constantly to that same look. Whereas when you draw or paint, automatically it becomes different because the medium is so primitive in some ways. The one thing I love about painting and drawing is that it does approximate the textures of reality. It is like an actual recreation of a material world from other materials. You know, when you look at an object like this, you know, the rust, the imperfections, the textures, they're all incredibly complex. So, you know, the concept of scanning in painted textures and laying them over digitally created objects is a way of getting a certain directness. I just found this piece of wood, just walking around Brunswick, and I thought that's a great bit of texture. At the time I didn't think it'd be useful for this project in particular, but then I was trying to think, how do I texture a snail shell so it looks like an old sea creature, and then I thought, well, this is pretty accurate. You know, accidents like that I thrive on. I tend to come up with my best ideas when I'm not trying, and when I'm working alone here for a long period of time, and when I actually don't think the work is perhaps important, and you sort of free yourself up and you just go, oh, well, I'll try this. And sometimes out of desperation, you know, you're just struggling with an idea, and in an attempt to find some sort of solution, you stumble on something that's really good. I used to dismiss it a lot. Now I realise most of my stuff does come from the subconscious. And I think all of us operate on a conscious level that draws material from the subconscious, almost like fishing from the sea. And yeah, I think the whole process of actually doing creative work is a bit like fine-tuning that fishing process, so you can do it again and again.